Hey guys, good morning. Super happy to see you. Welcome to my Pilates class, Pilates inspired fitness class. My name is Elizabeth and I'm your instructor. And for props today, we're going to use a pillow and dumbbells. So go ahead and take a moment and grab those. And we'll get started with the pillow in hand. So we'll just set the dumbbells to the side and then pillow in hand. Let's reach that pillow in front of us. Soften the knees just a little bit and kick one foot back behind, bring it in, other foot back behind, bring it in and continue. And then we'll reach those arms overhead as we kick a foot back, reach both arms in front and switch and continue. All right, guys, this simple move will begin to warm up your body. And I'd like to take this opportunity to request of you to keep your workout with me today pain-free. So that means comfortably uncomfortable is okay, but pain is not. So anytime you're feeling stabbing pain, shooting pain, joint pain, structural pain, anything like that, please stop what you're doing and do something different so those feelings go away. So I want you guys to feel better after class, not worse. Thus, any modification at any time is okay. And I encourage it. And breathe. Wow, you guys have some really cool pillows. For 2. And the next time you have those arms overhead and a foot back, pause. Let's reach that pillow down to one side. It doesn't matter which. And then we'll just reach those arms up, swing that, yeah, and continue and switch and continue. All right, guys, adding on, maybe as you reach those arms overhead, also lift that foot in space and then tap and tap. Yep. So we're coming into a situation where we are working that back booty cheek. Bit of a balance challenge. And breathe. For 3, looking good, guys. And 2, and 1. And then let's step those feet together. Step the other foot back behind. Soften the standing knee. And then we'll begin to swing that pillow up and switch. And then adding on, we'll lift that back leg and lift and lift. Yeah, really targeting that back booty cheek area. Breathing. Yeah, looking so good. For 3, and 2, and 1, and come back to center. Nice job, guys. Let's take that pillow. We'll place it behind us, grabbing onto each end, and use your grasp on that pillow as leverage to pull those shoulders back. So pulling those shoulders back, and then softness in the knees. Let's stick one foot back, come to center and switch and continue. So same exact move in that lower body, but notice how you're feeling a stretch across the chest and working the muscles in the back and the backs of the arms, which I don't know about you guys, but after Monday's class, I guess, my triceps were speaking to me. For yours as well? Yeah, they're speaking to me right now. Everyone is nodding their head. All right, for 3, and 2. And the next time you have a foot back, it doesn't matter which, pause. All right, so we've got our arms back, arms straight. We've got one foot back, that leg is straight. And then let's lean forward, lifting those arms in space and tap. And do it again, coming into a bit more of a balanced challenge. Breathing, yeah, looking so good. Woo, balanced challenge. You guys look really solid. I'm feeling a little sketchy. For 2, and 1, and come center. Place that foot forward. Let's kick the other foot back and continue. Good, leaning forward, thinking about a straight line from the heel to the leg, to the tush, to the back, to the shoulders, to the head. Are you still reaching that pillow up towards the ceiling, away from your body? If not, recommit to that. Looking good for 2, and 1, and come back to center. Nice job. All right, let's just swing those arms from side to side. For 2, and 1, and come to center. Okay, guys, then let's take the pillow and put it on your head. Yeah, remember when you were younger, when the rage was to walk around with books balanced on your head? So let's see if we can do that with the pillow and just balance that pillow. And as you're doing this, maybe move those fingertips away. You guys look super solid. And then think about creating space between your hip bone and your bottom rib. I can feel that in slow-mo starting to slide off. So in other words, you guys continue. What I'm interested in here, guys, is creating space and length between this bottom rib and the hip bone such that you're standing taller while balancing the pillow on your head. Okay. Wow, my pillow is really unstable. Okay, and then if that's good, maybe close your eyes. Standing as tall as you can, balancing that pillow on your head, closing those eyes, and just notice how it feels. Notice how your body feels as you're doing this. All right, guys. And then if those eyes are closed, let's go ahead and open them. Open those arms to a T and begin to make circles with those arms. Can you maintain that space and distance between your bottom rib and those hips? So none of my students are having any challenge with this. I'm having quite a challenging time. All right, you guys are breathing. Now, in the event that this is easy peasy mac and cheesy, maybe begin to hover one foot. Ooh, and breathe. Yep, looking good. And then finally, if this is still super easy, maybe close those eyes or pause for a millisecond when you blink. Loving it. Good. Notice the direction of your circles of the arms, guys. For 2 and 1, pause. Let's put that foot down. Hover the other foot and then begin to make circles in the other direction and maybe begin to close those eyes if you wish. Yeah, looking really good. Loving the concentration and control. And breathe. This is really fun. I just love doing things that like we never do. Like, when was the last time you've done this? Never? Yeah. And breathe for 2 and 1 and pause. Place both feet down and grab the pillow. Nice job. Okay, so we'll take the pillow and we'll put it between the knees. Pillow between the knees, and then we'll reach that booty back in space, keeping the knees behind the toes. Reach those arms forward, and then we'll lift the heels as much as we can. And then squeeze the pillow. Just squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Can you come higher onto those tippy toes? And breathe. And then let's reach those arms back behind. Reach one arm forward and switch and switch. And breathe. Oh, Linda's husband, you got it going on there. And breathing, looking so good. Balancing, lifting those heels even higher. Breathing. Did I mention you're breathing? Yep, loving the challenges, guys. Loving the smiles. Are you still squeezing that pillow? If not, squeeze it as much as you can. For 3 and 2 and 1 and come up to standing. Nice job. Okay, let's set the pillow to the side. We'll grab it again in a moment and find your dumbbells. Dumbbells in hand. Let's come into our Pilates B, palms facing in. Take an inhale. As you exhale, let's bend the knees, reach those arms forward, come up to standing and do it again and continue. Yeah, looking so good. Adding on, the next time those knees are bent, pause, keep those arms forward, and let's lift those heels. Lift those heels even higher, open and hug, and continue. So we're really targeting the ankles in this sequence, also feeling those inner thighs quite a bit. But the higher those heels are, guys, the more you should feel a little bit of wobbling in those ankles. Those are your stabilizing muscles firing up to keep you, we're challenging that balance, which is a fabulous thing. For 2. And the next time those arms are together in front, pause. And then let's straighten those legs, keep those heels super high, drop those shoulders down, and then we'll bend the knees, reach the arms in front, and straighten, whoop, and do it again. Yeah, and if your dumbbells, guys, are heavy, so mine are 2 pounds, and I don't think I would want to do this with much heavier of a weight. So if this is bothering your shoulders and your weight is heavy, just get rid of the weight. Woo, for 3. And 2. Looking good. And 1, and let's lower down. Nice job, guys. All right, we're going to take this down to the mat. Keep the dumbbells nearby and keep your pillow nearby. And let's come all the way down to a seated and then a lying flat position. So we'll lie down flat. And then, guys, let's take the pillow, put it between the knees bent, feet flat, dumbbells in hand. Okay, dumbbells in hand. Let's open those arms into a goalpost. And for this sequence, guys, we're going to keep the head down. Take an inhale as you exhale. Let's lift those hips. Keep those hips lifted. And then let's come on to the tippy toes. All right, so hips lifted on the tippy toes, head is down. Take an inhale as you exhale, reach those arms up to the ceiling, and then lower those elbows out into a goalpost position and reach those arms up to the ceiling. Do it again. Okay, so as we're doing this, so it's just our arms moving through space. Our hips are lifted, we're on the tippy toes. Let's begin to squeeze that pillow for all it's worth as we reach those arms up to the ceiling, and then release the squeeze as we lower those elbows and do it again. Woo, and breathe. Yeah, funny how these little tiny exercises really sneak up on you. So maybe you're starting to feel this quite a bit. I definitely am in that inner thigh area, even that chest area, even though my dumbbells are quite light, as we're going through this range of motion, resisting the making it feel like this exercise is super challenging for the arms, even though perhaps the dumbbells are light. But in that intention, it actually, in fact, makes the exercise harder. So that's part of that Pilates mind-body connection. Oh, okay, guys. Next time those arms are up towards the ceiling, pause. Can you come higher onto those tippy toes? Pivot those palms so they're facing each other. Then let's open those arms out to a T, softness in the elbows, and hug a tree over the chest and do it again. And continue. Still taking this big static hold in the bridge in the lower body. Squeeze those booty cheeks a lot. Squeeze that pillow a lot. Yeah, so breathing. Even though it's only our arms that are moving through space, we've got a bunch of other muscles working right now in a static hold. For 3 and 2. And the next time those arms are overhead, pause, and let's lower the arms down to the mat and lower the booty down. Good. All right, guys, so this is a moment of rest. From here, let's reach up and grab the pillow and just move it to the side. Take a little step apart with those feet and begin to windshield wiper those knees from side to side. And just enjoy that booty massage, which again, if you are with me on Wednesday, probably feels amazing. For 2 and 1, and come to center. Okay, this time, guys, we'll leave the dumbbells to the side and we'll just rest the arms on the mat by the hips. We'll pivot those palms so they're facing up. So arms resting at your sides, palms facing up towards the ceiling, knees bent, feet flat, keeping the head down. Let's bring that left knee into a tabletop position. Okay, from here, guys, take an inhale, exhale, lift those hips, coming into a bridge. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift, and continue. So we're just coming in and out of a bridge, lifting and lowering those hips, keeping that left knee in a tabletop position. We will add on in a moment, but of course, you can always continue with an earlier version of the exercise if you wish. The next time those hips are lifted, keep those hips lifted. Let's take that leg straight up to the ceiling. So left leg is up to the ceiling. Flex and point those toes. And then the next time those toes are pointed, pause. Let's begin to draw little circles on the ceiling with those left toes. Now, as you're doing this, notice if those hips are shifting around. And if they are, try to prevent that from happening, which is hard, by the way, but you get points for trying. And then pause, reverse the direction of those circles. Woo! For 2 and 1, keep that leg up to the ceiling and roll down vertebrae by vertebrae, bringing those hips all the way down. Let's place both feet onto the mat. Nice job. Knees bent, feet flat, and windshield wiper those knees, just taking that active rest moment. For 2 and 1, come back to center. Okay, guys, let's bring that right knee into a tabletop position. Take an inhale, exhale, lift the hips, inhale, lower, exhale, lift, and continue. Breathing. Yeah, looking really good. By the way, this is inherently a posture correcting exercise because as we lift those hips up towards the ceiling, the hips are, if we were standing, they would be in front of the torso, which is the opposite of that poor posture with the torso leaning over the hips. Okay, the next time you're up, stay up. Let's take that right leg up to the ceiling. Begin to flex and point and flex and point. Yeah, really good. And the next time those toes are pointed, keep them pointed. And then let's begin to draw little circles on the ceiling. By the way, guys, this movement is not coming from the ankle twirling. It's actually coming from the head of the femur moving in the hip socket. And then pause, reverse the direction. I'm actually going to modify and stop doing this, but you guys continue. You look fabulous. And breathe for 3 and 2. Keep that leg up to the ceiling and roll down vertebrae by vertebrae. Nice job. When you're all the way done, let's place both feet flat and then hug the knees into the chest. Gently rock from side to side. Taking that little back massage. Yeah. Breathing for 2 and 1 and come back to center. Okay, guys, next let's put the feet onto the mat. Open the knees wide to the side, pressing the soles of the feet together. Place all 10 fingertips behind the head. Come into a crunch position. Okay, so resting the head in the hands, guys, trying to get the work out of the neck. And if this is bothersome for your neck to maintain a crunch, you can lie your head flat at any time. Let's press those feet together. Just press and press and press as much as you can. Pressing those feet together. And notice how you're feeling a ton of muscles in that inner thigh area. Maintaining that crunch position, begin to apply pressure from your head into your hands, which is different than applying pressure from your hands into your head. So really what I'm trying to get you to do is to get your neck out of the work. All right, and breathe and hold, just big static hold, pressing those feet together for 3 and 2 and 1, and just release all of that. Lie your head flat and just release the legs, let them rest and feel the gravity pulling those knees apart. Should feel pretty good after that big isometric contraction that we just had. Oh, I always love the way it feels to rest after working a muscle. It's really a nice and interesting combination. All right, guys, but enough resting. Let's come back into that crunch position. And then press the soles of the feet together again. Press and press and press and breathe. I'm trying to think of a cue for pressing the soles of the feet together. I can't think of one. I can't think of like why you would be doing this with ferocity. And breathe. If anyone can think of a cue for that, let me know. Hollowing out that belly. Breathing for 3 and 2. Okay, guys, we're going to add on. Stay in this position. If you wish, you can lift those feet off the mat and lower and lift and lower and continue still pressing the feet together. Yep, now I can use a good cue. Pressing those feet together like you have a winning lotto ticket between them that you don't want to lose. Yep, so in this position, it's a little more likely to those for those feet to want to come apart. So actively pressing together and holding that crunch position. Yeah, we've got inner thighs, we've got lower abs, so many muscles for 3 and 2 and 1. Lower down. Lower that head, neck, and torso down. Open those arms to a T. All right, arms open to a T. Let's place the feet flat on the mat. Take a step apart with those feet and drop those knees over to the right. Feeling that terrific stretch. I want you to notice, particularly with the knees dropped to the right, you're feeling the stretch between that hip bone and that bottom rib on the left side. And in just a moment, we're going to work that area. But I want you to notice right now that those muscles, they kind of like look like a fan going down your abdomen area. And right now they're stretching. Okay, so let's lace the fingertips behind the head. Take an inhale, exhale, crunch straight up the center. Inhale, lower, exhale, crunch, and do it again. And then notice how the space between these bones is decreasing, and notice how these muscles are contracting. I know it's kind of like the grass growing. It's like you don't really think about it too much, but when you do, it's quite remarkable, everything that's happening. And the same is true, I believe, for as we're going through exercise routines. It's like it doesn't seem like any big deal, but if you think about it, it's quite fascinating. Those bones are separating and then coming together, and we're using our muscular contraction to decrease and increase the length of those muscles. And so there's just so many fascinating things going on. All right, guys, notice if you're feeling some fatigue in that area. Also notice if you're feeling work in your neck. If you are, see if you can get it out of your neck. And the next time you're up, stay up. Okay, and then hollowing out that belly. Come up and up and up. Little pulses, breathing, really thinking about those muscles, and they're working tight, tight, tight. Breathe, going for that tiny waist. Yeah, I know, I'm feeling this a lot. Breathing for 3 and 2. And pause, keep that head lifted. Maybe this is all you want. If it's agreeable for your neck today, reach those arms forward. Reach those arms overhead. Reach those arms forward. Do it again. And now we're holding those muscles taut in a static hold in our midsection. But as those arms move through space, notice how those muscles have to work harder in the midsection. Woo! Yeah, for 4 and 3, 2 and 1. Lower that head, neck, and torso down and take a moment of rest. And notice how your body feels after that little flurry of activity. For 2 and 1, come back to center. Okay, and also notice how one thigh muscle feels, or thigh muscle area feels different than the other. Let's balance that out. So let's drop those knees to the left. And we'll give our body a moment to become accustomed to this particular stretch before we invite in that activity. And then placing the fingertips behind the head. Take an inhale, exhale, crunch straight at the center. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift. Going for that super tiny little waist, guys. Yep. So we're training our muscles now to tuck themselves in as so that's kind of a strange cue, but what I mean is the core goes all the way around the spine, and we're training our midsection to have the ability to contract those muscles so they are tighter around the spine, holding our spine in the position that we want our spine to be in. In other words, using kind of like a corset, using our muscles to tighten the corset of our core, going all the way around the spine to protect our spine and fortify our spinal positions. Okay, all right, next time you're up, stay up and lift and lift and lift, and continue hollowing out that belly, breathing, 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 little pulses, lifting and lowering. For 3 and 2. And the next time you're up in that crunch, pause. Okay, up higher in the crunch. I know you've been in a crunch for a long time. Let's reach those arms forward and back and forward and back. And again, guys, use the abdominal muscles to facilitate this movement of the arms. In other words, try to kick the work into the abdominal area so that as those arms reach overhead, you feel those oblique muscles working even harder. All right, and breathe for 5 and 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower that head, neck, and torso down. And just take a moment here in the stretch before we move on. For 3, and 2, and 1, and come back to center. All right, guys, next we're going to roll all the way over onto our hands and knees, coming into a quadruped position. And then let's take the pillow and we're going to put it in the crook behind the back of the left knee. And then hands under the shoulders, navel is tucked to the spine, and feel free to reposition as you see fit. We're going to hover that left knee in space with the pillow tucked in, cradled in the back of the knee. All right, and we're going to lift and lift and lift and breathe. So tiny movements here, squeezing that back booty cheek area. Yeah, and if you want more, guys, maybe begin to reach that right arm straight forward. Breathing. Yeah, lifting, lifting and lowering that pillow. I feel like my pillow is moving just a couple of inches, so and I'm feeling it quite a bit. So tiny movement. Breathing. Woo! For 3 and 2 and 1. Pause. Keep that leg lifted. Keep that arm lifted. And breathe and hold. Static hold for 4, 3, 2, and 1. And lower that hand down and that knee down. Nice job. And then we'll scoot that pillow over to the crook of the other knee. That would be the right knee. And we'll do that little sequence again. So let's lift that knee in space. Good. And then we'll lift and lift and lift. And breathe and breathe and breathe. Yeah, looking good. And then let's reach that left arm long in front. Woo! Again, it's just the tiniest movement ever with that back leg, but feeling it so much. Woo! And breathe for 3 and 2 and 1, and come back to center. Let's take that pillow. We'll just move it to the side, separate those knees, and reach that booty back towards the heels, walking those hands forward, coming into a really nice stretch in that back area. For 3 and 2 and 1, press yourself forward, coming onto all fours again. Then let's tuck those toes underneath you. By the way, we're going to come into a plank sequence. So if on your hands doesn't feel good, you can come to your elbows. You can also come onto gorilla fists at any time. Take an inhale. As you exhale, let's just hover the knees just the tiniest amount. Look down and notice how much they're hovering, just a couple of inches. And then, guys, from here, let's step one foot all the way back and the other foot all the way back, coming into the full upright plank position. All right. And then let's tick the right hip down and the left and the right and the left. And continue just targeting that oblique area, getting a little bit of oblique love, a little more oblique love, I should say. We've been targeting them quite a bit. Woo! Hollowing out that belly, navel is tucked to the spine for 3 and 2 and 1. Come to center, lift that booty up towards the ceiling, coming into an inverted V position, melting those heels down. And breathe. Trying to keep those shoulders super far away from those ears. Take an inhale. As you exhale, shift your weight forward back into that plank position. And hold. Breathing, hollowing out that belly. Yep. I feel like this is one of the best exercises ever, is these planks. They are such a terrific full body strengthening exercise. All right, guys, and then let's lift that booty up towards the ceiling again. Whew. Taking a few deep breaths for 3 and 2 and 1. Shift your weight forward back into that plank position and hold and breathe. I know there's so many things we could do in a plank, but sometimes just holding a plank in its simplicity is a fabulous thing. Just focusing on that form, making sure those hands are directly below the shoulders, making sure that that waist is not sagging low, nor is the space between the shoulders. Recruiting those core muscles again, guys, which go all the way around the spine. Holding that spine in the neutral position. Take an inhale as you exhale. Press that booty up towards the ceiling again, coming into that inverted V position. And this time, guys, let's bend one knee, feeling that terrific stretch in the opposite leg, and switch, and switch, and continue. Just getting some movement in, still pressing those shoulders super far away from those ears. For 3 and 2 and 1. Come back to center, and then, guys, let's lower those knees down. Nice job. Lowering those knees down. We'll kick the left leg long behind, reach the right arm long in front, and hold and breathe. And then let's bring the knee to the elbow underneath the body and kick it long and do it again. For 3 and 2 and 1. Keep that leg lifted out behind you, but place both hands down. Nice job. And then, guys, let's take that knee out to the side like we're a dog at a fire hydrant and kick it long and do it again and continue. See if you can feel the work, you guessed it, in that oblique area again. And also notice all the interesting movement with the head of the femur and the hip socket. Breathing, and again, you're welcome to come on to those gorilla fists at any time. Woo, for 3 and 2. And then next time that leg is out long, pause, pivot those toes down, and place that knee down. Nice job. And then we'll reach the right leg straight out behind. Reach that left arm forward and hold. Holding, and then we'll begin to bring the knee to the elbow underneath the body, kick it long, and do it again. And breathe. Looking good. Woo. For 3 and 2. And the next time that leg is out long, pause. Let's place both hands down, and then we'll bring that knee out to the side like a dog at a fire hydrant, kick it long, do it again, and continue. Woo. Breathing, lubricating the joints with synovial fluid. That's the body's natural lubricant. That's a terrific thing. And we can create it by movement. Woo. For 2 and 1, let's lower that knee down again, coming back to all fours. Separate those knees, reach that booty back towards the heels, walking those hands forward, coming back into that stretch. And noticing as we melt our face down towards the mat, if it feels a little different than it did a moment ago. For 2 and 1, and come back to an all fours position. Okay, guys, next, let's tuck those toes underneath us again. Take an inhale and exhale, hover the knees, step back into that plank position, and then let's come back into that inverted V position. Take that right leg straight up to the ceiling. All right, and then guys, from here, let's shift our weight forward, bring the right knee towards the right elbow. Lift that leg up to the ceiling, coming back into that inverted V type position, and continue. So it is like we have both hands. It is like we have both feet on the mat and shifting forward in and out of that plank position to the downward dog, but we're pedaling our right leg through space. For 3 and 2 and 1, pause. Let's place that right foot flat. And you guessed it, let's take that left leg up to the ceiling and then shift your weight forward, bringing that left knee towards the left elbow. And again, if your wrists are talking to you, you are welcome to sit this out, or you can come onto gorilla fists. Breathing. For 3 and 2 and 1. Let's lower both feet down, lower both knees down, separate those knees, and then reach that booty back towards the heels again. And notice if you're able to come a little bit more into the stretch. I feel like my body certainly has released quite a bit, and I can comfortably come down further in this stretch. For 3 and 2 and 1. Let's press ourselves up. Yep, good job, guys. How you doing? Awesome. All right, switching gears. Let's go ahead and come to a standing position. And notice if your muscles feel fatigued after all of that work, let's grab our dumbbells. Arms and goalposts. One knee in tabletop, arms overhead, and switch, and switch, and switch, and continue. And we're going to come into a little cardio blast. So the reason why I like to introduce a cardio blast with this type of a movement is because I want you to know you don't have to do a bouncy thing for your cardio. But if you want to, you can come into a jog, you can disco dance. A lot of my students go off and run the stairs. You can do jumping jacks, you can do burpees. I just want you moving through space a little more quickly, getting that heart rate up a little bit more. Yep, so we're just moving our bodies through space. Yeah, loving it. And breathe. I've got students running in and out of my screens. Loving it. Bev, I saw you open your window. Is it beautiful outside where you are? Yeah. I've got, if you're with me on YouTube, I record these. You're back from the stairs. We'll go for another little blast. Yeah, and she's off. But if you're with me on YouTube, I record live with students and then post the videos. So I've got students from all over the country that are with me. So it's always fun to see them. And wow, yeah, Bev, I can see out your window now. That does look beautiful. You're charading with me and I'm not quite catching everything. Rain. Okay, I believe it is raining in New Hampshire right now. We've got another gorgeous day in paradise in Southern California. I think it's getting up into the upper 70s again. And I see you're back from the stairs. We'll go for another little blast. Yeah, and she's off. She's got those double beats going. Breathing. Yeah, looking so good. Got Linda running through the screen. Loving it. Beautiful, loving all the different moves that I'm seeing. Sometimes I feel like when we're doing this, we're like little toddlers just playing. And Linda, you definitely look like a little toddler right now. All right, guys. We'll wrap this up in just a moment. Loving it. Then you've got that 50s. Reminds me of a move, I don't know, from the Catskills or something. Like in the old, what are they called? The old resorts, like Dirty Dancing or something. All right, guys, for 5 and 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back to center and swing those arms from side to side. All right, nice job, guys. Next, let's come back to center. We'll reach those arms down to the side, and I want you just to squeeze those armpits closed. Create as much space and length as you can between those ears and shoulders. So think about your dumbbells pulling those shoulders down and then standing super tall. And then let's lift those heels, coming high, high, high onto those tippy toes. And then let's squeeze those booty cheeks, squeeze those armpits closed, lifting those heels even higher. Lift, 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 woo, and breathe. And if you hang out here for a moment, I suspect that suddenly you will start to feel a bit of a balance challenge. So we're just going to hang out here. We're strengthening the muscles around the ankle, and we're also creating stability and mobility in those ankles, because I don't know about you, but mine are kind of shaking a bit, and being able to remain upright is ensuring that we have the mobility to kind of move around and correct ourselves if we start to feel unstable, like we're going to topple over. Okay, still squeezing those armpits closed and breathing. Wow, suddenly again, this feels so strenuous, and like it looks like we're doing nothing. Again, part of that magic of Pilates. Breathing for 3 and 2 and 1, and lower down. Oh my gosh, isn't it crazy how much we felt that? Okay, next, let's take a big step back with the left foot. Notice if your rear toes are externally rotated. Mine are right now. I don't want that, so I want your feet super parallel, okay? And then bend into that front knee. So this is a stretch. We're stretching out the back of that left leg. All right, and then if you wish, you can lean that torso forward, coming into a long straight line. And just for fun, let's add in some biceps curls. Stretching out that back leg, working the biceps. If you squeeze those armpits closed, guys, again, notice how much more this adds to the exercise. Suddenly your dumbbells will not feel light anymore. And you can even do this without any dumbbells at all, and it can begin to feel quite heavy. Ooh, really enjoying that stretch, pressing that rear heel down for 3 and 2 and 1. Let's step those feet forward. And notice how one leg feels really different than the other. I always love noticing that. I mean, it shows us that what we're doing is making a difference. Let's step back with that right foot. And again, let's place all 10 toes pointed straight forward, so there's no external rotation, which the body naturally goes into, by the way. And then we'll bend into that front knee, pressing that rear heel down. And then for this, let's lean forward again, finding that long straight line. And we'll come into triceps extensions. So as we will lift those elbows super far back and up towards the wall behind us and the ceiling. And then now the work is straightening those arms out. Yeah, looking so good. Pressing that rear heel down. Woo. For 4 and 3 and 2 and 1, and come up to center. Nice job. Let's swing those arms from side to side. Notice how this feels in your body. For 2 and 1, and come to center. Arms in goal pose. One knee in tabletop, arms overhead, and switch, and switch, and switch. And you guessed it, guys, coming back into a little cardio blast, whatever that looks like for you. Again, just getting that heart rate up. And it doesn't need to be like, whoa, I'm, can barely breathe. Although certainly if you want to, you can go there. But actually, when it's just a little bit challenging to breathe, that's when we're in that magic fat burning zone. So that's always nice, right? And just moving that body through space. Yep, whatever that looks like for you. Loving it. Wow. Once again, I feel like this class flew by. We've got just about 5 more minutes. I always feel like it goes by really fast. And there's Linda running through the screen, breathing. Woo! And it's so fun how, I don't know, just to move the body. It's a gift, really. You know, a lot of people feel like November is Thanksgiving and it's a month to be grateful. And I do like to think about the things that I'm grateful for. And certainly just the ability to move my body is one of those things. Because I don't know about you guys, but I have experienced, different situations that made it really uncomfortable to move my body. One being morbid obesity. I remember when I saw that written on my file at the doctor's, I was like, wait, who's morbidly obese? And I was like over 100 pounds heavier than I am now. We'll go for another little blast in case you want to go and run the stairs again. And I remember when I first decided that I was going to try to feel better in my body, I wrote in my journal, I wrote, so I decided to go for a walk, and I decided, and this is after being a really fit girl and personal trainer and stuff, but I decided that I would go for a walk. I'd walk out 10 minutes and walk back. And I wrote in my journal afterwards, I wrote, well, that sucked, but I did it, and I'm glad I did it. And, we just start where we start. And now here I am, like 15 years later, less than half the weight I was, and teaching you guys about fitness. So that's kind of cool. So it always feels good to move the body and think about those simple things that we don't necessarily feel grateful for unless we think about them. So let's think about them. 1 minute. You guys are so cute. I love the moves. All right. And we'll wrap this up in 3 and 2 and 1 and come back to center. Swing those arms from side to side. Yeah, I wish I had that journal entry where I wrote that, because I think about that entry often. For 2 and 1. Okay, let's set the dumbbells to the side. We're going to come into a little stretching sequence next. So to start with, let's take that right arm out to the right, sweep it across the body, take the left hand to the forearm, and we'll just pull that arm towards us and drop that shoulder. So that other class where I'm teaching just ended, so they are walking off. Bye, guys. All right, and then we'll release that. Other arm to the side, other arm to the forearm, pull it towards us. As I said that, I think they were like, oh, shh. All right, and breathe for 2 and 1. Let's take that left arm up to the ceiling, grab onto the wrist, and gently lean to the right. And come to center. We'll grab onto the other wrist and pull, leaning to the left. For 2 and 1, and come back to center. Let's take that left knee, guys, bring it into tabletop, and then if it's available to you, let's grasp onto that left knee. And then we'll soften the right knee just a little bit, pulling the left knee towards us. Press those hips forward. So I'm interested in here, a bit of a balance challenge, but also a stretch in this groin area. So just enjoy that. You can twirl that left ankle Yeah, a bit of a balance challenge. And then twirl it in the other direction for 2 and 1, and come to center. Let's put that foot down. And then we'll bring that right knee into tabletop. And if it's available, grab onto it. Soften that left knee, press those hips forward, and then we can begin to twirl one ankle. And then pause and twirl the ankle in the other direction. Looking good. Yeah, so in this month of gratitude, guys, I encourage you guys to maybe, if you're at a stoplight or something, and or whatever, just begin to consider some things you feel grateful for. And pause. Let's put that foot down. Swing those arms from side to side. One thing I'm grateful for is you guys training with me today. I really appreciate you all being here. For 2 and 1, come to center, and then let's reach those arms overhead. And rock those shoulders, curl the fingertips over, tuck the chin to the chest, roll down, vertebrae by vertebrae. When you get down to the bottom, nod your head, heck yes, I feel amazing. Shake your head, no, no, no. And then softness in the knees, head is heavy. Roll up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Coming all the way up, looking good. When you get to the top, guys, bring those shoulders up, back and down, up, back and down. One more time, up, back and down. Walk into your day with a grateful heart and your awesome posture.